I travel through the hills of land in the winter, walk with me. Living trees, walking through the singing, singing the cries of Calvary. Let's walk in my glory, singing, help me do the best I can. For I need God, I
ready, sir?
Egypt was once my home, I was a slave. Never dreamed to wrong, but I became I looked up to heaven, saw God, and He said, I will be in leaning on inside, He kept me high. Crossed over Jordan, wide, planted in God, well, my soul is satisfied. No longer like I'm living with Jesus, He came back down in the lowlands, rivers and the streams. My soul was lifted, righteous within Christ the Savior. Giving to me my heart to win. I'm living in kingdom now. Living open inside, He let me out. Crossed over Jordan, the Lord, hallelujah. Song in weakness, praise and power, victory, freedom, paradise. Everybody praise the Lord, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory in this. Stand up in the most sorrow, stand up in the most trial. It's hard, it's all we got, everybody praise the Lord.
Praise the Lamb of God.
Praise your name, Jesus.
Lord,
Praise your name, Lord. I thank you. Precious indeed is He.
Lord,
Praise your name, Lord. I thank you. Precious indeed is He.
praise the
Thank
Lord.
you. Praise your name, Lord. Amen, Jesus.
Before I get started, I would like the church to remember this young man. No, I had to talk. Because Saturday I seen them do their little performance and the words they spoke and the songs they sang, I mean, it can really touch
Yes,
our
amen.
lives. I mean, and so the prayer I want everybody to remember for them is when they start this is when the opposition comes, when
Yes.
when the how am I going to say this? The devil's going to say, maybe I don't need to be here, or maybe you don't play as good as me, or maybe something wants you to separate and break up. I mean, this stuff happens, as there are pawn shops and garages full of instruments where people could not dwell together, So remember in prayer, because as this gets stronger, and this young man who writes his own music, they are great opportunities to express Jesus in his own way, besides singing somebody else's song. So I really want you to remember them as a group and whole, because the opposition is going to come, and it's going to try to do everything it can to stop that from happening. So I'm just letting them know church is praying and to be mindful of those traps, whatever it may be.
Amen.
Thank you.
That's right.
Anyone else?
Are gathering, standing in line. Take church as they heard, I captured their mind.
Somebody said I clean it, because if you know, Junior's going to preach on it. Oh, or somebody's going to preach on it.
Brother Tom, while they're coming, I'm glad that I'm on that road.
Amen.
The narrow road.
Yes.
The wide road that leads to destruction.
Amen.
That's right. I don't want to be
Praise
found
the
on
Lord.
the, on the man. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
I came with one bottle.
Praise the Lord.
I'm sitting back there and somebody said something, so something else is cut to my heart.
Praise the Lord.
That's my brother.
So,
Have your way,
Yes,
Jesus.
but I want to share something with you.
Praise the Lord.
This morning in church,
Have your way,
and
Lord.
we got here when there was Sunday school was about over, and they was asking each class to come up. And I've had a thought on my heart all day today about the illustration that Amber gave this morning.
Yes.
That has just touched me.
Thank you,
Praise
Lord.
the Lord.
You know, that has just stuck with me because you got this side and you got this side.
That's right.
And there's a gap there. And without Jesus, we'd have no hope.
That's the truth. That's right. That's the
But the
truth.
illustration that you gave today, Amber, was just awesome.
Yes.
And it's
Yes,
really
Lord.
stuck
Praise
with
the
me
Lord.
all day long. And I thank you. Because you never know when you say something who it's going to touch.
That's the truth.
You don't know who needs it,
Praise the Lord.
but somebody always needs something that you need.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
But if you have your Bibles tonight, go with me to the book of Proverbs. I was going in Isaiah earlier, but the Lord has just changed my mind. And He knows more than what we need and what we ourselves need.
Yes, right.
Proverbs chapter 3, stand and we'll read God's word together. Starting in verse number 1. It says, "My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee.
Yes.
Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the tablets of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man." That there's just a blessing.
Yes.
Amen.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding.
Amen.
In all thine ways acknowledge him, and he shall. Notice that? Notice
Yes.
they put the word shall there. He shall direct thy path.
Yes.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father God, as we come to you today, we thank you and we praise you for your blessings. God, we thank you, Father God, most of all, God, for sending your only begotten Son. We can have life and have it more abundantly. God, we pray, God, that there's one here today that is lost, and I pray that today would be the day of salvation. Hallelujah, God, because we love you. We thank you for everything that you've done, Lord, and everything that you're going to do. Hallelujah, God, because it's not by might nor by power, but God, it's by thy Spirit, says the Lord of hosts. Lord, I love you and I thank you and I praise you for what I feel in this house tonight, God. Holy Ghost, just walk up and down the avenues of our heart. Minister to us tonight, God. Hallelujah. God, I love you and I praise you and I thank you for what I feel in my heart. God, I ask you to just pour it out on the people tonight, God. Those that are oppressed and God, just needs a touch from the Master's hand. God, that you would minister to them tonight, God.
Thank you.
Father, it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. You may be seated if you can.
Thank you, Lord. Praise you, Lord.
First verse says, it says, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. What touches us with God? It's our heart. What do we need to keep protected? It's our heart. I remember when I first got, and that's why I call it the preach. I had a preacher tell me, he said, son, whatever you do, guard the anointing that God has on your life.
Yes.
You understand that?
Right.
Guard what God gives you.
Right.
It's precious. It ain't just something to take lightly.
Amen.
And that's what I see so much today is people taking things for granted and taking it lightly. Church, we need to take it and guard it with everything we go. God gives you something for a reason. He don't just give it to you, glory to God, but He gives it to you for His honor and His glory. And hallelujah. That's what we have to be careful about. It says, forget not the laws, but let that heart keep my commandments. For the length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Think about that. If we cherish what God gives us, the Word of God right here says, hey, if you take a hold of it, you guard it, God says, I'll give you a long life. Hallelujah, glory. I'll make a way where there seemeth no way. I'll part the clouds away. The pastor said this morning that the steps of a good man and a woman are ordered by God, and it's ordered for us to do His glory and His honor. It's just not to take a step to see what happened, but there's a reason and a purpose for everything that we go through.
That's right. That's right. Yes, there is. Amen.
Then look at verse number 3. It says, let not mercy and truth forsake thee. My God. What do we need? Mercy and truth. For about the last week or two, on my mind, all I can think of is the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. Church, if we can ever understand, if we know what the truth is, if we know who the truth is, and it has set us free, what's keeping us from doing what God wants us to do?
Thank you,
Thank
Lord.
you. Thank you, Lord.
Because if you know it, and you know what the Word says to do about it, what's wrong with us?
Yes.
We slack.
Yes.
We take it for granted.
Yes.
We think, well, God, you did it. I don't have to do it. No, you still have to go and believe. You still have to pray. You still have to read your word. You still, somebody said, Brother Eddie said, we still have to come together in one mind and one accord. We still have to agree together. I like what he said, there's power in numbers. When people can come together, hallelujah, glory to God, and get the garbage out of the way, and come in spirit and in truth, then God can move in the house.
Amen. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Jesus. Yes.
Because let not mercy and truth forsake thee. And look what it says to do. Bind them about thy neck.
Amen.
And write them upon the tablets of what? Think about that. Bind them. Then write them right here.
Right.
And it took me for the longest time to understand why I need to write it right here. Because there's coming a day where this is not going to be here. But if I've got this right here in my heart, around my neck, if I've got it in my heart, I know what the truth is. I know what I need. It's right there. All I got to do is say, God, I need you to bring it back. I need you to remember. Help me, God, to remember what you said.
Thank you, Jesus.
How many of you has been in a situation and you don't have your Bible, but all of a sudden the Spirit of God will come and the words of You've got the truth down inside of you. It's right there. All you got to do is say, God, I need you. I'm going to ask you a question. Has God ever let you down?
No. Never.
Has God ever been late?
No.
Thank you, Jesus.
He's always on. But I want to go a step further. In our time is different than his time.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
Amen.
Because we think that we have to have it yesterday. But God says, in my time, it will come.
That's right.
God says, in my time, because the Bible says, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with the wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Church, the hardest thing that we have to do is wait upon God. He's never late. He's an on-time God. It will come through, and if we was all serious now, He's always gave you more than what you asked for.
Yes, He does. Yes, He does. Thank you, Lord.
Hallelujah.
Thank you. Thank you, God.
I don't know about you, but I'll be in a situation that when the situation has come through and it's over with, and I look back, and I'm thinking, that really wasn't as bad
That's right.
as I thought it would do.
That's right. Yeah.
Now let's go back to what she brought up here this morning. Why is it not so bad? Because I've got rid of this. I'm connected to this. And this is pulling me into the right direction that I need to go. I've forsaken this. It's gave me nothing but trouble and headache. And I've grabbed a hold of the Almighty God. And I'm getting closer. The Bible says to come. Have all ye that are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, for it's easy.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
But the hardest thing to do is let go of that. To grab a hold of this. Because when your eyes, all it sees is this.
Right. Yeah.
And she brought the statement out this morning. But your heart is saying now.
Yes.
Now. Now. Now.
Yes.
Quit looking there and say, no, I'm trusting my heart. It's my heart that's going to get me through. It's my heart that's connected to an Almighty God. It's my heart that I said, Lord, take me, cleanse me, search my heart, oh God. Cleanse me, make me what you want me to be.
Yes.
Blessed be the name.
Praise your name, Lord.
Because look, if I let mercy and truth forsake me, and I bind them about my neck, and I write it upon the table of my heart, and I'm doing what I can do the best that I know how.
Right.
You got to understand that. You only receive what you give.
That's true.
Y'all don't get quiet on me. You don't give. You give a little, you give a little.
Right.
And we all can sit here and say, I've been in church before, and the house is shouting down, and I'm just...
Come on.
God, why? What about me? Everybody else is shouting. Well, number one, where's your attitude?
Right.
Number two, what was you thinking when you came in the door? Because I'm going to tell you something. We come into God's house expecting to spend 30 minutes to get our heart right with God. But we need to have our heart right before we come to the door. We ought to come in with a praise on our lips. We ought to come in with our hands lifted up. We ought to come in whether we feel like it or not. Whether you're tired. Hallelujah. Glory to God. And I'm telling you, we all had I don't know what you have, My house has been a nut house today. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but everybody's been there, running, the kids running here, everybody running around, they eat, run here, go outside, we got to take pictures, we got to do this. But we still ought to be able to come into God's house and, hey, I'm ready to lift up hands. I'm ready to praise you. We had a good time this afternoon. Why can't we come into God's house tonight? God, I thank you for everything that you've done. Now, God, I come in to worship you. God, I come in to praise you.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
Because look what verse number 6 says. No, excuse me, number 4. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding. Now, you got to get this now. In the sight of God and man. Some of you don't get it. Because if you're doing the will of God, if you're doing what God says to do, He says, I'll give you favor not only in my hands, but I'll give you favor with men, which you fight every day. And I don't know about you, but I like to have favor with God and favor with man. It don't make me a person that give a big head, but it tells me what kind of God that I have, what kind of God that I'm serving. If I can find peace, hallelujah, in church and come outside into the Word and still have peace with man, that's the kind of God that I can serve. That's the kind of God that I can serve. God's the only one that can give me peace with man and with Him. I believe it's in Psalms. He says, I'll set you right down in the center of your enemies, and you'll find peace with them. I can tell you with my hand lifted up that I've seen it happen in my life. In my life. I worked with a demon. And for years I fought. But Junior, I can tell you that my hand lifted to the Lord. I could sit down right now in the middle of that, and I had peace with Him.
Amen.
I have peace with Him. And it ain't nothing that I did. But it's what God did. It didn't happen overnight. There was things had to take place. I had to quit trying to do it my way. And I said, God, you got to show me how to do it. You got to lead me. You got to guide me. God, you got to show me that if I can sit down in the middle of my enemies and have peace, if God can do it for me, He can do it for anybody in here. That might not be a lot to you. But in this walk of life, if you call yourself a Christian, you better have somebody on your side. Because the enemy is out to get you.
Amen. Bless you, Lord.
And I'm glad to know that the Bible says no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise against me shall be condemned. It ain't what I did, but it's the inheritance. It's what lives inside of me. It's what's connected to me on the inside. Psalmist said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can fear no evil. Why? Because thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they cover me. They prepare the table before me in the presence of my enemies. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of life. Why? Because I can dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I know what side I'm on. I know what side I am. I know that my God's not dead. But Muhammad's dead. Confucius dead. And Jehovah Jireh, the King of Kings, He is alive. I would hate to serve a God that's dead all my life.
Amen.
Lord.
Thank you, God.
Bless you, Lord.
There's this place in town. If you go by, you'll see it. And they have these little fat things sitting in this little fat doll. I just tell it, I don't. And every day they'll bring it water and food. Because they think it needs water and it needs food. If I was serving something, that one day I put water and food there, and I went back the next day, and the water is not moved, and the fruit or vegetables are dried up, I believe that I would keep that out the door and grab a hold of something that's real. Hold on. I would get a hold of, I would search out for a mighty God that I cry out to, that hears me in the midnight hour when everybody else is asleep, and I've got a headache, or I've got problems, and I'm so sick that I can't even sleep, but I can reach up and say, God, here's your son. I got a need. I'm in the midnight hour when everybody else is gone to sleep, and nobody else, I can't get a hold of anybody. I can reach up to him, and he's right there. He says, son, I've got you. Son, I've got you. I'm not going to sleep. I ain't on vacation. Cry out to me. I hear you when I cry.
Thank you, God.
Lord, I praise you.
Yes. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Stand there, Pastor.
Praise your
You know what he does?
Thank you, Lord.
He just puts his arms. He says, son, I got you. You remember when you was a kid and you go to your mama's arms or your daddy's arms, and they would pat you and they'd say, it's going to be all right, I've got you. That's the way God is. He puts them big arms around you and he says, I got you. Oh, through thick or thin, I'm not let you. I'm right there in the midnight hour when nobody else is around. I'm going to hold up. I'm not let you out of your skin.
Thank you,
Glory, God.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Lord. We praise you tonight, Lord.
I hear you.
Yes, he does.
Thank you.
Yes, he does.
Verse 5 says, trust in the Lord with all. That little bitty 3-letter word. Just seals it for me. With all thine heart.
Yes.
And this is where we fight. Let's go back to the illustration. When we try to lean on our way, we're still holding on to this.
That's right.
But he says, lean not to thy own understanding. Just let it go. Quit trying to see it out of here. Quit trying to hear it out of here. And say, God, I'm trusting in you. I can't see it. Hallelujah. But I know that in my heart you're there. I felt you. I'm not giving up. Whatever I got to do, God, I'm coming to you. Yeah, even though Satan might be out here trying to pull you out of the Bible says to stand. And when all else fails, the Bible says to stand and see the salvation of the Lord. What is he saying? Stand and watch what I can do.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, God.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
Amen.
Think about that. He shall direct thy path.
Yes.
Oh, glory to God.
Come on.
You stood right here and you closed your eyes. Say, God, I'm trusting in you. God, I can. And he says that you walk. God, I don't quit worrying about fear. Quit worrying about it. God, I'm trusting in you. I don't understand where you're leading me. But God, you said that if I trust in you with all my heart, you would be my God. You'd be my shield. You'd be my buckler. You'd be my wheel in the middle of the wheel. You said you would guide me. You said, Lord, the steps it was ordered if I just walk and I trust you. I just walk and I trust you. God, I don't understand it. Son, just don't try to understand me. Just trust me. Just trust me. Oh, just trust me. Oh, God, just trust me. But Lord, quit worrying about what you can see. Quit worrying about what you can hear. But God, I'm just trusting in you. I don't understand. Lord, and he says, okay, now stop and go back. But Lord, I don't know. Quit worrying about it. Just do what I say to do. Just trust me. Oh, just trust me. In church, if we can learn, God, it's not what I hear. It ain't what I see. But God, if I can just trust you with all of my heart, all of my soul, God, you said you would lead me. You would guide me. You'd never forsake me. God, I'm trusting you.
Thank you, God.
Glory to God.
But this is us today.
Yes. Come on.
Well, God, are you sure? God, I don't understand. And he said, do it.
Yeah.
Well, God, are you sure? And about 10 minutes later, here comes Brother Tim. The Lord told him one time and he's doing it. He ain't questioning it. He's just doing it. Who gets the blessing? A brother. Who goes home defeated?
Yeah.
I can tell you, I've been home many a times.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't listen. Or I was afraid I'm going to hurt your feelings. And God says, you trust me.
Right. Yeah.
I'll direct you. I'll show you.
Yes.
I'll guide you. Does it work? Did you see it?
Yeah.
You seen it, didn't you?
Praise the Lord.
It works, don't it?
Thank you, Lord.
You seen it, ain't you, Pastor? Works, don't it?
Praise your name.
Cool, my brother.
Thank you, God.
It works.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
And if you really are radar, I don't want to use this. My wife says I speak Dick's licks. I do sometimes. So I got to think. You know, if you have a radar system and you're homing in on something, the closer you get to it, the beat gets louder and louder. That's God. God's telling you, He's saying, I'm going to home you in on it. I'm going to get you in the right position. I'm going to get you in the right place.
Yes.
Woo! And the closer you get to the thing that God wants you to do, the louder it becomes and the greater the peace you have. Woo! Because I know that I'm on the right track. Even though the enemy may come in and be trying to come in, brother, somebody said, when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Lord says, I'll rise up as standards. I'll make a way. I'll part the clouds away. I'll get everything out of the way. You just hold me in on what God wants you to do. That's God.
Yes, it is. Amen.
That's God.
Amen.
I'm going to read one more verse of another scripture. Let me find it.
Praise your name, Lord.
Isaiah chapter 43. Verse number 7. Even everyone that is called by thy name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yea, I have made him.
Amen.
Woo! Ba-ta-la-ma-ka.
Thank you, God.
Glory.
I'm created to give him glory and honor.
Yes.
Not me,
No.
but him.
Yes. Give unto him.
Praise your name, Lord.
Him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, God.
Glory.
You understand that?
Give unto him.
Unto him.
Yes.
Praise the Lord.
We want to see things happen in our lives. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding.
Amen.
And all the things that I do, acknowledge him.
Glory.
Everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Give it to him.
That's right.
Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
And when you least expect it, it happens.
Hallelujah.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to share something that happened to me. My wife has been asking for something for a long time. And today, we were sitting there on his Mother's Day. And Nathaniel and his two sisters said, Granny, we've got you a gift. And they even hid it from me. Because Mackenzie says, I spat in my mouth too much. that I can't keep a secret. So I kept asking, don't worry about what we got her. You just be there when she opens it. Okay? I said, okay. So we're sitting there today. And they gave her the present and she was sitting. And they said, now Granny, you got to open the card last. I don't want you to open it first. You know, most people want you to open the card first.
Yeah.
So she opened the bag, and I think she had a couple of shirts, I believe. Then they said, okay, Granny, I'll open the card. She opened the card, and she has been asking, because she's big on tracing her family history back. She's traced it all the way back to, back in the 1700s, I think, 1800s, back in England. She's traced it back to the Vikings and the Irish. But she says, honey, I really want something. I don't care if I get anything else. She says, I want that DNA test so I can get to see actually where it came from. And them girls and the thing, and they went and they bought her one. And she's about cried all afternoon because she said, that's the only thing I've ever asked for. You know, it might not be a lot to anybody, but sometimes the littlest things can give you the most happiness and the most peace. You know, not the big things, but it's the little simple things that means more than anything. That's God. When you can take the things and God can make the little things give you the happiness of life. Only God can do that.
That's right.
Hallelujah. True.
Thank you,
Glory.
Only
Hallelujah.
Praise the Lord.
trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and He'll give you the desires of your heart.
Yes. Hallelujah.
He'll give it to you.
Yes, He will. Yes, He will.
Glory.
We make it hard,
Yes.
but it's simple. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into your own understanding,
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
but in all thy ways, each step, everything that you do, acknowledge Him.
Yes, amen.
And He, not me, and He, you do it.
Yes, he will.
Praise your name,
He'll
Lord.
do it.
He'll give it to you.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Thank you, Jesus.
But it boils down to how much do you trust him?
Right. That's right.
Going through the fire, are you trusting him?
Praise your name, Lord.
When you're down to the bottom, down to the bottom,
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
do you still trust him?
Praise the Lord.
Because I'm hearing so many people that are almost down or they're throwing in the towel and saying, it ain't worth it. But you know, God's still down in the valley, like he's up on the mountaintop. And I've learned that God's just as strong down in the valley. God's still there, even though you might not feel him. God's still there. You know what he's doing? He's trying to see what you're going to do.
That's right.
So what about you? Because I know when you had to reach way down in the bottom of the pit to pull in. But I wouldn't trade it for what I've been through for nothing.
Thank you.
Because every once in a while, I remember where I used to be.
Yes. Right?
Where I'm at today.
Amen.
Understand that?
Amen.
I remember. And I remember how he brought me up out of the miry clay. And he set my foot upon the rock. And he established my hope. He put a new song in my heart. I know he can do that.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Jesus.
So what about you?
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
What about you? Because I was going in a total different direction when I walked in this door.
Bless the Lord.
Praise your name.
I had no notes on this. I had nothing. But God,
Use me, Lord.
so what about it?
Have your way, Lord.
I don't know who this is. This is for somebody
Have your
Bless
way,
you,
Lord.
Jesus.
Thank you.
that's in a battle that needs to hang on.
Amen.
Help's coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
coming.
Thank you, Jesus.
It's coming.
Amen. Thank
It's
you, Lord.
coming.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's coming.
Yes.
Amen.
Lord.
It's coming.
Praise
And you're
the Lord.
fighting.
Yes.
You're fighting. But it's coming.
Praise your name, Lord.
Amen.
Praise your name,
Thank you,
Lord.
Lord.
What you don't understand is where you came from.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Have your way, Lord.
What you fought through.
Thank you, Jesus.
Where he's brought you from.
Right.
Thank you, Lord.
And every day the devil wants to bring it back up.
Yeah.
But God says, greater is he that is in me
Yes.
than he that is in this world. And if God be for me, who can be against me?
Right.
Praise the Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Sometimes you got to take a stand.
Yes. Thank you, Lord.
And that's a hard thing to do.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Because I'm going to tell you something. Everybody in here is battling something.
Right.
If you ain't, then we need to pray.
Yes. Have your way, Lord.
Because sometimes I feel like, God, is it only me?
Have your way, Lord.
Then God opens up my eyes and says, ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
Thank you, Lord.
But it goes back to somebody, I don't know if they said it this morning or tonight, but it's coming to this. Brother, I don't know your need, but I'm agreeing with it. I don't have to know what it is, but the Bible says when two or three are gathered together in his name, that he'll be in the midst.
Amen.
That's right. Thank you, Lord.
Praise your name.
Because if I can agree with him,
Yes.
Eddie said it, that's numbers.
That's right. That's free.
Come on.
Praise the Lord.
Bless the Lord.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
We're agreeing with you.
Hallelujah.
We're agreeing.
Amen.
We're agreeing. We're agreeing.
Thank you, Lord.
We're agreeing.
Praise your
I'm
name.
not stopping. I'm going for the numbers. God's math's different. I'm agreeing together. I know what you're dealing with. We're going to agree. We're going to church where we can come together. We can be mighty. It doesn't have to be a big, but we can be strong. Your pastor can illustrate what I'm about to say. You go into a church to preach, and the church is divided. One side says it needs to go this way, and one side says it needs to go this way. And you get in there and preach, and they sit there like right on the log.
Have your way, Lord.
And he can verify what I'm saying. Sister Allie's been there. And you're thinking, how can you see God move in a place when the people can't come together in one mind and one accord? What I understand about the day of Pentecost, it didn't start out with 120.
No.
It started out with 500.
Yeah.
But they had to weed out. But once they came to the number,
Praise your name, Lord. Thank you, God.
once they came up to 120, God says, that's it.
Yes, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, you got to see this church. God's got a number for Word of Life. And when we can come together in one mind and one accord, they don't have to be a lot because the presence of God will fill the house. You won't have to tell nobody because they'll see it happening. They'll see him coming by, they'll drive by, and they'll say, what's going on? Why? Because the presence of God is in the house.
Thank you, Lord. Praise your Lord. Thank you, Lord.
And it's going to start with trust in the Lord.
Yes.
So what about you tonight?
Thank you, Lord.
Where are you at with trusting God?
Thank you.
I had to tell God one time, I said, Lord, help my unbelief.
Amen.
Preacher, yeah, no. There's been times in my life that I've had to say, God, help my unbelief. When the pressure and everything comes in, God, help my unbelief. And you know what happened? God opened up my eyes. And it's right there. I've had it happen in my life.
Yes.
Within 15 minutes, God answered the prayer.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes. Hallelujah.
But sometimes, God's waiting on us.
Thank you, Jesus.
Stand with me.
Hallelujah. Lord.
Church, there's two things we can do with this message. We can take it and let it go in our left ear and out our right ear. Which the hardest thing is, 75% of the people in the church today, that's it in this ear, and it goes out that ear, or they'll pass it back behind. But if we could ever get to a church to say, Lord, it's me. Start with me. God, get me where you want me to be. That I can trust you with everything that I have in all aspects. Because I used to be, I would just trust God for the big things. And I learned that I messed the little things up so bad. And now I trust God with everything.
Amen.
Because I thought that I was big and bad enough that I could handle it. And I've learned in my walk that I can't handle anything. then I've got to trust God with everything.
Yes. That's right.
So what about you tonight, church? This altar's open. Lord, start with me. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I feel the Lord wants to do. It's up to you. But I'm going to go down here at the altar and I'm going to say, Lord, start with me.
Yes, amen.
Start with me. So who's going to join me?
God, start that fire in this Lord tonight. Lord, I know tonight, God, Lord, you must, Lord, tonight. Lord, I pray tonight, God, to come, God, to be obedient, such my Lord, God, for this, our ways, Lord, tonight. Lord, I know tonight, God, that you are my help. You're my strength, Lord, tonight, God. Lord, let us have you tonight, God. Look at these things, Lord, tonight, God. But look unto you tonight, God. And you said, I look unto the hills, which cometh my help. Lord, tonight, God, I look unto you tonight, God. I'm trusting you, Lord, for this strength. God, for a healing, Lord, tonight, God, that you can heal, Lord. God, Lord, so go tonight, God, if you heal me of the foundation. God, it will fall. But Lord, we need to be upon you, Lord, tonight, God. Lord, let us become, God, that fire, God. Let us become, God, that you, with that anointing, God, with the Holy Ghost power, God. Lord, let that word burn within us, Lord, tonight, God. Lord, let us feel it, God, to our hearts, Lord. God, that we may be able, God, to know, as Lord, you have taught us, Lord, not to meditate upon what we say, Lord, but the Holy Ghost should teach us in that hour. Lord, I pray tonight, God, to let that Holy Ghost fire, God, burn within us tonight, Lord. God, that we may be able, God, to quench the fire, God, that's Lord. Lord, tonight, God, let us put on the whole armor, Lord. God, that when the enemy comes in like a flood, Lord, that you raise up that standard for us, Lord, tonight, God. Lord, I pray tonight, God, help us, Lord. God, to become, God, that flame, Lord. As you said, Lord, as in the book of the faith, Lord, let us become to be a minister of fire, Lord. God, with that anointing, God, and break the yokes, Lord, tonight, God. Lord, I pray tonight, God, let us be, God, that first, Lord, God, to stand forward, Lord, tonight, God. Lord, God, I pray tonight, God, help us, Lord. God, to stand in thy ways, Lord. Lord, and not look to the left or to the right, but look straight ahead, Lord. Lord, I pray tonight, God, that you let this come, God, to be able, God, Lord, to taste. Lord, Lord, for in my house, Lord, Lord, I pray tonight, God, Lord, give us become, God, as Jeremiah says, search out for the old pipe, when you find it, let's walk by it. Lord, we pray tonight, God, do not the old man Mark, God, come back to it. Lord, I pray tonight, God, you use God, for the uplifting, God, of your kingdom, Lord. Lord, that we can become, God, what you have us to be, Lord. Lord God, because you want to be that servant, Lord. Lord, tonight, God, let us be that servant, Lord. God, for you, Lord. God, to be able, God, to use it. God, as we speak to our hearts, Lord, I pray tonight, God, Jesus, God, for the uplifting, Lord, tonight, God, because we know tonight, God, without that flaming, God, burning within us, Lord, we're nothing. But God, we pray tonight, God, stir our hearts, Lord. Yes, God. Individual here tonight, Lord, stir our hearts, Lord. Oh, God, tonight, pray, Father.
Holy Ghost, breathe. 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 Breathe upon God. Breathe upon God. Breathe upon God. Breathe upon God.
Lord, let us come.
Jesus.
God, that you use
Oh,
the
God,
people.
we pray. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. Glory to you. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Breathe on him, God. Holy Ghost, breathe. Breathe on him. Oh, Holy Ghost, Jesus. God, I thank you. Oh, I praise you, God. Oh, I praise you, God. Praise your name, God. Praise your name, God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, God.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, God, breathe on the Lord. Thank you, God. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah.
Praise you.
Oh, hallelujah. Thank you, God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, God.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes, Lord. Blessed be thy name.
Glory.
Thank you, God.
Hallelujah.
Praise you.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, I thank you, God. I praise you, God. Oh, hallelujah.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Praise the Lord. That scripture. Lean not. Trust in the Lord. And lean not. And as he was preaching that tonight, I'm sitting there. And I could just visualize. We will follow and lean to him, trust him as long as it is easy.
Right.
That's true.
But when it becomes to be a hard thing, and I was just visualizing sitting right there, it's easy to come here and step down. Got the rest for safety. Something to lean on. But I could just imagine trying to step over here. It's harder. You got to make an effort.
Yes, you do.
Hello?
Come on.
I would rather go this way all the time as to go this way once in a while. But if I can trust the Lord that He's going to see me this way, over it, as easy as it is this way, I can win the battle.
Come on.
But see, it's easier to go the easy way. Church, I want you to pray for me. That I can become obedient unto the Lord. God says, step over this way. But Lord,
Come on.
I got them praying for me to go this way. you got to lean upon Him. That when I make that step, He's going to get a hold of my hand and going to help me. Because when you got somebody over here to help you step across, it makes it easier. Because you got something else. You still got that protection. And it's not man's protection, but it's God's protection. And it's just then Jesus come on to go on with Christ.
Come on.
Then the next task comes along. You say, yes, Lord, I'm trusting.
Come on.
And then you take that step.
Yes.
It may look rough,
Step out
but
the
it's
faith.
still not as rough
Come on.
Step
when you
out
trust
the
the
faith.
Lord.
Amen.
I just talk the Lord. Praise the Lord. Amen. Praise the Lord. Because I believe tonight God has got something for us if we'll trust Him. Amen. Praise the Lord. You enjoyed tonight?
Amen.
Give the Lord a good praise. It's always easy. I was reading today. Too many wants to build on somebody else's foundation.
It's true.
And my Bible teaches me, and I read the King James, that if I build on some other man's foundation, it crumbles. But if I build on God's foundation, it'll stand. That's why I got to trust Him. Amen. Hallelujah. Anybody else got it? Don't